There's funky slide guitar music that comes in every Monday through Friday live at 5 on the Evil FB Network at YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type in iNewsWire Roy Bleckert. You'll see my nice, smiling, shining face coming across the airwaves. Man, what a day. All sorts of fun things happening. We may get into the education part. Javier Baccaria gets in trouble with the street tacos. B.S. Rob Bonta, our corrupt piece of trash attorney general, is trying to sabotage Prop 39, the Voter ID Act. I'll give you the latest on that whole situation. Have an update from the great Ashley Zavala. On Prop 5, Newsom hires a high-profile D.C.-based attorney amongst his investigation started by the federal government under the Biden administration into his alleged crooked dealings. Get to this and much, much more, but get to the race report as we had our lead story, or our picture of the day. Jack Runyon almost looks like he's got his hands waving out of that, but I guess it's lights or mud or something that's up there hanging out of the cage. Which gets to the thing, as I understand, a lot of the young guys don't wear arm restraints in open wheel racing. As you see, the fuel tank's about ready to leave the unit on that. Jack Runyon had a heck of a reputation for crashing a few cars back in the day. Indiana Sprint Week's going to start here in a day or two, so we'll preview that in a second. But first, we'll have the Madman Robert Ballou. But couple things. CHP pursuit in Los Angeles hit a hit and run. Here's a little bit from Fox News and Good Day LA. Here we go.
Vehicles. Whoa. Oh my goodness! Through those intersections.
Did he hit? Yeah.
Yes,
he definitely
bounced off the car. It's on that. There you get. I just wonder if they just beat the crap out of this guy. Seems like they had a lot of officers, so there might have been some real resistance. You see, as the pictures go across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if they were all highway patrol. They were the ones on there. There's the first 2 or 3. As we get to that on Fox News.
Going on in there as well, up close and personal. Come on out there, sir. Let's take a look at you. There we go.
That's it.
Down to the ground you go. It is the driver of the vehicle. That is not the...
If they drag you out of the car, you're probably going to get your ass beat, as the old Chris Rock deal is, and I can attest to you from personal experience on that whole situation going on. Wild and woolly chase going on. Customer shot a knife-wielding man deader than a doornail at a barbecue joint in Cerritos, Lucille's Smokehouse and Barbecue. Here is the ABC 7 report. Hopefully. Here we go.
Dined on a busy Sunday afternoon. Tonight, people who were inside the restaurant are still horrified at what they witnessed.
Investigators say a man with a concealed carry permit shot and killed another man who was armed with a knife. Eyewitness News reporter Abigail Velez is live outside that restaurant tonight with the breaking new details about the suspect's movements before the deadly confrontation. Abigail.
Well, Jory, Liz, homicide detectives and LA County Sheriff's deputies have been here for hours. They're still here tonight. As you can see that this scene is still very much active. Eyewitnesses and employees that saw this deadly shooting unfold this afternoon still being held inside of this restaurant for questioning. We spoke with some of them and they described this shooting to be straight out of a horror film.
I saw a guy run in the restaurant with his throat slit and he had a knife.
A horrific and bloody scene at Lucille's Barbecue in Cerritos as employees described the moments before gunfire rang out.
He had his throat slit and a knife. Speculating this is a druggie who's into self-harming himself. As you see on their LA Sheriff's Department source said, yeah, looks like he slit his own throat coming into the restaurant with a knife.
Out in the middle of Sunday's lunch rush.
He went to the main dining area with all the guests. I guess there was another customer or another guest that was sitting down. He pointed the gun at him, told him to put the knife down. The guy kept walking towards him like Michael Myers did, and he shot him.
Investigators say that man...
Good. Come in there with a knife, you're bleeding, you're threatening. Thank goodness there was a customer in the Lucille's Smokehouse Barbecue with a freaking gun. Now, we don't have to worry about that because he shot the knife-wielding, most likely drug addict, vagrant, whatever, mental illness or whatever. We'll find out. My speculation, or from the ABC7 report.
Died at Lucille's after a bystander with a concealed carry weapon opened fire around 2:15 Sunday afternoon. But detectives believe the story started before he reached the restaurant. A Sheriff's Department source telling Eyewitness News the suspect had been driving a stolen truck before abandoning it and stabbing himself at a nearby Starbucks on South Street.
I noticed a driver driving recklessly into the...
All right, we don't have to need to go any further than this. Stole a truck, slits his own throat, comes into the restaurant with a knife. This guy or gal, as just said customer, who shot this guy dead in a doornail, one, saved probably a lot of people's lives in that restaurant and in the future if he would have gotten away. On top of that, we don't have to have any trials or anything. It's over. Done. Fait accompli. You can't, most of these people you cannot save. I don't care. You can go bleeding heart. You and the smarter out the population can use all the emotional crap you want to pull on us. The bottom line is us and the retarded population know. There's a certain amount of people you just cannot fix. And this guy is at room temperature, and it's not going to cost us anything, and your life is going to be safer and better and more secure, and your kids more secure, because this guy is deader than a freaking doornail. Gosh! Let's get back to a society that frickin' works.
The plaza. He just left the car there, ran off to Lucille's, and it seemed that he had a knife in his hand, and he was also wounded. I got a closer look to the car. It seems that there was already blood all over the steering wheel and inside the car.
This nearby worker who witnessed the chaos, still reeling.
We were really anxious, especially because this plaza is safe. So it was a little shocking for us to hear what was happening.
Frequent shoppers...
Why not? Hey, glad the dude was in there with a gun to blow this guy's brains out or whatever happened, so he's not threatening us. God, I'm getting tired. No, not that I'm getting tired. We're going to wreck society if we keep at this pace of everything as we're trying to sugarcoat everything and make it... No, glad the POS is deader than a frickin' doornail and will not threaten anyone ever again. Dang! Let's get back to having some frickin' balls in this society. We get to the Robert Madman Ballou video for the race report, previewing Indy Sprint Week. Also, 8 new winners. USAC won their first USAC sprint car feature on Indiana Sprint Week coming up. Gavin Newsom, the piece of trash. Rob Bonner trying to screw us over again. Hammett trying to increase sales taxes again. And much, much more on today's show. Yes. I mean, it's so frustrating. I don't know why. Oh, so frustrating. That we don't... People in the restaurant should have been cheerleading. They should have been taking up a collection for that guy. Or gal who shot. The perpetrator that was coming in there with a knife, cutting his own throat. Lord. All you women and men who think you got a vagina in your middle of your body, knock it off. You should be cheerleading the guy or gal who shot this guy, making us a better society that piece of trash is gone. Instead of celebrating this stuff or, oh, well, you know, and to see the little people in there that were working and eating at Lucille's barbecue. Yeah! Glad the POS is gone. We don't have to worry about it. We can go back to our lives. Not shocked, and I'm this, and I gotta have counseling. God, you should have... House should have bought a round for everybody in Lucille's. Indiana Sprint Week. What is it? 7 races in 6 days. Kicks off, I think, either one's tomorrow or Thursday, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. $10,000 to win each night, which is starting to get close to what it should be paying for a USAC win. Promoters need to quit squeezing the racer and get back to promoting the shows and putting fans in the stands so everybody wins. Everybody needs to do their job. Here's Robert the Madman Ballou on Fox 59 in Indy. Hopefully, here we go.
9 races over 10 days. What kind of grind is that for yourself, who does a lot of the work behind the scenes too?
Yeah, you know, my deal's a little bit different. I work a full-time job and I have volunteer help. I'm one of the only guys that's that way. So for me, my bosses, I'm lucky enough, we're out of Kokomo, and he lets me leave work for the 2 weeks, and I can kind of focus on racing, which is huge for me.
Yeah.
And so I can keep an eye on everything. That I drive the truck, I make all the final decisions on the race car, and then I drive it. So it's all the weight's on my shoulders ultimately, and I got to pay the bill.
There's a lot of great dirt race fans here in Indiana.
Sure.
I mean,
This is why we love the Robert Madman Ballou. Makes all the decisions, works on the car, drives it, drives the truck, has a few ragtag dudes that just love racing and volunteer dudes or dudettes who come out and help him out. This is what racing is all about. Robert Ballou is the epitome of what racing was, should be in the future. Again, you promoters and race organizers, you better get your S together, start promoting the shows, start getting the stuff, prepare the tracks so we're not wearing out tires. Let's get to the modern engines and fix this stuff. It's not rocket science. Quit running things into the ground because the Robert Balloos, the madmans, are becoming the exception when they were the rule. And we need to get back to this. Here's more from the madman.
They go everywhere, like you said, but for fans maybe who spent a lot more days at Indianapolis Motor Speedway than all around it, Kokomo, Bloomington, Tri-State, like what would your pitch be to those guys to go out and, hey, give dirt racing a try one of these days?
I mean, the side-by-side racing, slide jobs, ultimately, fans go to see some wrecks. They don't want anybody to get hurt, but,
right.
They want to see the danger level, and it's there, unlike some of the other racing venues that we race with.
USAC's National Sprint Cars are...
And I don't know why it reset, but the madman is 100% right. People go there to see the thrill, the entertainment, the mixing it up, like Will Harrington did yesterday, throwing his gloves or whatever. Old man France saying Tony Stewart paying him $2,500 for his helmet and said, throw it again. Let's get back to being real Americans, living a real life, expecting real entertainment, instead of looking at that stupid porno crap on your 3x5 screen.
Final decisions on the race car, and then
Bloomington racing a try one of these
I
days.
mean, ultimately, fans go to see some wrecks. They don't want anybody to get hurt, but,
right.
They want to see the danger level, and it's there, unlike some of the other racing venues that we race with. It's exciting, wheel to wheel. You never know from night to night. There's 25 guys that can win on any given night that when we go to these racetracks. And
25 guys to win every night. The danger level, look at Jack Runyon, tank coming off, flying high through the air. What's he, about 20 feet in the air? That might be Knoxville with the Armco up there. That's about 10, 12 feet, and he's way over that. That's what people come to see. More from the madman, Robert Ballou on Fox 59 in Indy, previewing Indiana Sprint Week. Here we go.
We're going from one end of the state to the other, north and south. So, people have a really good chance to not have to drive that far and can still go to work the next day.
We've got the wing and wheel of Indianapolis Motor Speedway behind us. I bet there might have been a time when you didn't know if you were ever going to drive at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but shoot, now there's a dirt track right inside.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
And Thursday night is when it will start the first racing at IMS on the dirt track inside. Get out there, check out...
So it is Thursday night, Indiana Sprint Week kicks off at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for crying out loud. If you're in the Indy area, get out there, go to the races. If not, it's on Flow Racing, all 7 races during the week on Indiana Sprint Week. Get to your local track for Christ's sakes. A lot of guys, as USAC has put out, as you see, 8 different guys have won their first race, USAC Sprint Car Feature, at in Indiana Sprint.
Sometimes the high road at Kokomo is best, but not on this particular night. Marvel led the entire distance, but the 3-night series champion was Kevin Thomas. Oh, by the way, Brad Marvel is the son of USAC's Phil Marvel. Nice going there, son.
As the proverbial spinning of the AJ Anderson of Bloomington. Some of the winners first time. Blake Fitzpatrick and the crew. Again, get out to your local racetrack. If you're in the Indiana area, go to all 7 Indiana Sprint Week races. You will not be disappointed. More of the idiocracy that we have to endure. We know we're getting ripped off. As no free society has ever been ripped off than we are in the United States of America today. The fraud, the outright stealing of our money is absolutely incredulous. Dr. Oz is putting as much halt as he can. They've shut the payments off to some of it in Minnesota and California. Here we go.
Saying what you guys keep uncovering that the Democrats say never happens.
Carl, as you just saw, there's a lot of animation in the administration. It's an all-of-government approach. The vice president, who was tasked by the president to go out there and make sure that we have a anti-fraud task force that works and pulls all the levers that are possible to pull to make sure we stop these bad guys from taking advantage of our most vulnerable, is doing just that. So we've got the Department of Justice and FBI. We've got Treasury doing forensic accounting. But specifically at Health and Human Services, we are now delegating the ability to take action to CMS, and so we can move in even more quickly. And we're doing something that's really important. We're not letting the money leave the building. And that focus is critical because we can stop tens of billions of dollars from going out the door. I mean, we're stopping more money from leaving this building that I'm in right now than is the GDP of many countries in the world, because we're taking proactive steps to not let the fraudsters get at this money. But there's also times when we got to go out there and make sure the states realize that an all-government approach includes them. They've got to help. So in particular today, we are deferring payments to Minnesota and California of $1 billion.
Okay. People in Minnesota, California, New York, Washington, some of the worst examples, but Texas, Kansas, Colorado, do have this same crap going on. Do not let it go. They perfected it in the communist combines of California and Minnesota. But it's spreading to your state. If you don't stop it, if you don't stop the Mendami, Nithya Raman, Buffoon Bass, yokel hokel crap, they're going to stick it right up your rear end.
With no lube.
Exactly. Sean chiming in with a comment as we're going to join the mighty at KMET.
About 30 seconds, Roy.
Here in a few seconds of that. We'll get to some of that. The BS Rob Bonner trying to sabotage the voter ID, changing the title, and much, much more of this stuff. Hemet trying to increase the sales taxes. And as Sean said, they're giving it to us all with no lube. No wonder we all got a frown on our face most of the time.
Yeah, here we go, 10 seconds.
And roll with the best hillbilly hoedown around.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5:30 in the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Join your vast video audience on the evil FB network, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type in iNewsWire Roy Bleckert. You'll see my nice smiling, shining face. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. Man, what a day. We had Jack Runyon, We're previewing Indiana Sprint Week, which you can watch on Flow if you're not there. But if you're in Indy, starting Thursday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, be the first race. Go to the freaking races or do something fun. But as we had Robert the Madman Ballou preview, people go for the danger. They want to see that. There's Jack Runyon. Probably about 20, 25 feet in the air. Fuel tank about ready to come off. And as the Madman Ballou said, part of the danger and the excitement is everything. Get an adrenaline rush. Quit looking at that stupid 3x5 screen or whatever that's infecting your frickin' brain. A customer at Lucille's Roadhouse Barbecue in Cerritos shot some idiot, probably vagrant, drug addicted dude who had stolen a truck, slashed his throat, came in there with wielding a knife, and some very, very heartwarming and compassionate customer shot this dude deader than a freaking doornail. We should be celebrating that person. They should be releasing that person's name. We should be holding a ticker tape parade for that person, making our community safer. We don't have to worry about that a-hole threatening anybody again, stealing any more trucks, or doing anything else. Because he's at room temperature. We need to get some balls. Just like that, go watch if you're not at Indy, or you're here, or in Liberal, Kansas, Florence, South Carolina, or whatever. Go to the race or do something fun. More of the stuff that goes on that's absolutely incredulous. Rob Bonner thought they weren't going to qualify the Voter ID Act, so he actually wrote a semi, not very good, but a semi-tolerable ballot title to what is now Prop 39, which is the Voter ID Act. Now he's changing it. And trying to get like Putin and Ping Pong in China are going to come in here and take over California if we pass voter ID. There's one good thing about Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. When they negotiated the whole deal to get 43 on, they get to write the ballot proposition. Title and summary. Here's Steve Hilton on the latest from B.S. Rob Bonner, our piece of trash Attorney General, and we need to replace him with Michael Gates. Please, people, get off your dead asses and get out there and tell everybody and get Michael Gates in as Attorney General so we're not under this assault anymore. We can be done with this in November. Here's Steve Hilton.
Voter ID, supported by around 70% of Californians. They are so terrified of it that they have now changed the actual words that will appear on the ballot in order to try and put people off from voting for it. Here's the original title. Establishes additional voter identification and citizenship verification requirements. That's an accurate description of the voter ID.
As we said, that was semi-tolerable. That Rob Bonner wrote on the ballot title and summary because he didn't think we were going to get 1.35 million signatures and get it qualified for the ballot. So he could say, well, you know, I wrote a good that, but oh, you know, too bad you didn't get on the ballot. Well, we double-crossed his little ass on that. That corrupt piece of trash. Here's more from Steve Hilton on the assault from BS Attorney General Rob Bonner.
ID initiative, here's what they've changed it to. Prohibits citizens from voting unless they present government-issued identification. Invalidates mail ballots that do not have last 4 digits of designated government-issued identification number. It's so laughably corrupt and insane. This is like a ballot initiative that would have required, I don't know, driver licenses in order to drive, and they changed it to prohibits driving without a driver license. These people are a joke. We are going to get voter ID passed. There's a clear majority in favor of it, despite these corrupt shenanigans. And we are going to kick this corrupt machine out of power this year because we've had enough of all this.
Let's hope so. Let's hope there is change. And it is coming in California. Steve Hilton for governor, Michael Gates for attorney general. If we had Michael Gates as attorney general, we wouldn't be worrying. We wouldn't have to worry about crap like this. But it's up to you to get off your dead ass and everybody else's, and your friends and family and enemies, get them off their dead asses and get them out there voting, voters, ballot harvesting, and whatever it takes to pass voter ID, to get Steve Hilton as governor, Michael Gates as attorney general, Herb Morgan, un-effing California's controller, Sonia Shaw for state superintendent of public instruction. Maybe we'll get to that on Thursday. But what the hell is it going to take to get you people motivated not to have ding-dongs like Bonner and Newsom and Baccaria destroying your future and stealing your money? Who knows? How far it can take. Speaking of that goofball gulag Gavin Newsom, he's hired an attorney now for the federal probe of his, let's say be nice, questionable dealings. $347 million or whatever the number is in behest payments. Newsom is corrupt as the day is long, and he's probably as criminal as the day is long. Here's the Ashley Zavala. We thought KCRA 3 report. Here we go. We thought.
And it was his first since announcing he's under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice. KCRA 3's Ashley Zavala has what the governor is saying about the investigation.
Here at an elementary school in Davis, Governor Gavin Newsom held a press conference to highlight how the state budget will uplift public schools this year. But the governor faced a barrage of questions about the U.S. Department of Justice investigation into him and his wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom. Neither have been subpoenaed yet, and they have not been contacted by investigators for interviews as of this moment. The governor announced almost a month ago that he's under investigation and that authorities have been contacting friends and associates. The governor today signaled he and his wife have hired an attorney. Here's what Elsie had to say when asked for an update.
Not much more than that has already been provided. I mean, this is purely political. You've seen some of the reporting. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys have reported it as well. People have stated.
If it's purely political, then it's your own party, Joe Biden and Merrick Garland, who started this thing, goofball Gavin. Trying to play the victim. And it's all Trump's fault. Well, if it was all Trump, or Trump was initiating this, Then why did it start under Joe Biden? You mealy-mouthed moron. There's only so much of this you can take. On to the local news. Hemet put sales tax increase to voters this November. Alicia Ramirez into Riverside Record. Hemet City Council voted unanimously last week to place a 1% sales tax measure on the November ballot, which would make the city's tax the highest in the county if approved. They already passed a 1% sales tax. Now they want to stick another 1% on. This year, they passed a budget with a $4 million structural deficit. And what did they do? Oh, we want more money. They said we did a feasibility study, and 59% of the people would support the measure. Yeah, you probably said you'd shut off their water and power if they didn't pass that. The tax. The new tax. Everyone in this room was absolutely shocked at the results that came back, that our citizens understand the need that we have at this point. Mayor Linda Krupa. Stick it up your rear end, Krupa. And please come in here and defend this. Don't write this stuff. I want to see the results and how you conducted the survey and what the questions were. And were you push polling it? Krupa is corrupt crappa in the Hemet City Council. Oh, and I'll give you please, Linda, come in here. I'll give you every opportunity to make your case. Just remember, either you ain't got guts enough to defend the actions you're trying to screw the city residents of that. Passing a budget with a $4 billion structural deficit and then crying crocodile tears and saying, raise the taxes. Earlier this year, Riverside City Council asked the voters to boost or extend Measure Z. They rejected it 4-1. If approved, this will be the city's second active sales tax increase. In 2016, voters approved Measure U, a 1% sales tax increase that brought the city's sales tax to 8.75. In 2022, voters approved Measure H, which extended the sales tax increase indefinitely. Although this measure, unrelated to U, would function much the same as the proceeds from the increased sales tax would go directly to the city's general fund, but to be spent at the council's discretion and subject to citizens' oversight. Hemet, I tell you should vote 111%. No. Tell Krupa and the crew to go screw themselves. Come pass a structural deficit, ruin the city of Hemet, making it a laughingstock, and then say, give us some more money to screw you even worse. If you pass the city of Hemet, you deserve exactly what you get. As Sean said, you deserve to grab your ankles and get no lube. Quit being stupid. Quit buying the lies. I mean, for crying, as they say, out loud. And I don't want to hear about government employees. Look at Sausalito. They hire a new city manager. Oh, we're promoting from within and experience and all this other crapiola. 3 weeks on the job as the city manager of Sausalito. And this is what the new city manager is accused of doing. Hold on to your hats. Here we go.
Over the weekend, 53-year-old Elaine Forbes is accused of trying to steal a yacht and breaking into other vessels, doing damage. ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter Cornell Burnett.
Breaking into a yacht and attempting to steal. New city manager, 3 weeks on the job.
Bernard is live in Sausalito with this story. Cornell.
Hey, the arrest of Sausalito city manager has been the talk of the town and the yacht harbor here. There is sympathy and disbelief. A family spokesperson says,
Why would there be any disbelief? 98.7% of all public employees are corrupt and stealing as hell, and I guarantee you, and every one of you come in here, not one of you would make 50% of what you were making as a public employee if you were employed in the private sector. And that's almost what we're up to, compensation package. You're making twice as much as the average Californian. So come in here, please. SEIU, cops, firefighters. I don't have enough balls to debate the sixth grade educated ditch bank Okie. So far you haven't, because you know you don't have any intellectual ammunition to come back at anything I'm saying. I'm putting the challenge out to you, all of you. Santos at RSA, Chris Farias at Moreno Valley Educators Association, or anybody else. JVW CEO of Riverside County, Brian Mohan of Moreno Valley, whoever the hell's CEO of that in Riverside. Chuck Conder, come on in. Chuck Washington. Let's have Chuck and Chuck in. I invite them in. I open the door. It's up for you to walk in.
Elaine Forbes was having a mental health crisis.
She had the horn going, she had the windshield wiper going, the spotlight going.
Captain Bill Aubrey was there when Sausalito city manager Elaine Forbes was arrested early Saturday on board the 66-foot Lisa Marie.
Well, that's a new perp walk. There's your city manager of Sausalito getting arrested for attempting to steal a yacht.
Marie. Authorities say she broke into the yacht and manipulated the controls as if she was trying to steal it. Aubrey called 911 when he discovered Forbes in the wheelhouse.
Told her in no uncertain circumstances to get off the boat, and then she looked at me with a smile on her face and she said, "Good morning." And she was very friendly.
She looked at me and was very friendly. Well, because I'm a government employee and I'm privileged and you can't touch me. You can't touch this. That's the arrogant attitude they have today, because we have allowed them to get away with this crap.
Down here, and the police met me at the boat, and we went onto the boat and we discovered unbelievable chaos and havoc on my boat.
Andy Cunningham says this is the damage Forbes allegedly did on board her vessel located on the same dock.
She took all of my clothes, and she apparently tried them on. I don't really know, but they were all inside out. There was a
took all the owner of the boat's clothes out. Had them scattered out, turned inside out. This is the city manager of Sausalito that they just hired.
A jar of maraschino cherries on the counter that she had opened and dumped half of them into a shoebox. She had clearly drunk a whole lot of alcohol.
Maraschino cherries in the shoebox. I wonder what that may be the most intriguing part of this whole story. If we don't get an answer to any of the questions from this retard who's running the city of Sausalito, why did you put the maraschino cherries in a shoebox, you moron?
On the boat, about 4 bottles of our wine.
The Marin County Sheriff's Department says a missing persons report.
4 bottles of wine? Oh, they'd filed a missing persons report on the new city manager.
Report had been filed on Forbes Friday, just hours before her arrest. On Thursday, the Sausalito City Council approving a leave of absence for Forbes, who had been on the job for...
Leave of absence? Why aren't they firing her? 3 weeks on the job and you're doing this? If that's not a fireable offense, not a leave of absence. You don't need... Holy freaking cow. She's probably got a contract with 2 years severance pay on this. It'll probably wind up costing them hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions, to get rid of this psycho running the city of Sausalito.
Only 3 weeks.
Lane Forbes, who is a highly respected public servant, had a mental health crisis.
Lane Forbes, which is a highly respected public servant? No! She's a corrupt piece of trash city manager that's screwing us all over the city of Sausalito and whatever she was running before. Give me this. Who's this Sam Singer? Another apologist, spokesman for the family.
Family spokesperson Sam Singer said Forbes had been in the process of a divorce from her longtime partner, Angela Cavijo.
Divorce from her longtime partner, Angela Cavijo, Secretary of the Board of Supervisors. Is there any more reason you need to see how corrupt all these yahoos? They're practically all mentally frickin' ill and incompetent and probably couldn't get a job sweeping the frickin' sidewalk based on their skills.
Clerk of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Singer says she was living near where her arrest took place.
She does, in fact, have and live on a houseboat. So in her mental health crisis, she may have believed that she was...
So the city of Sausalito hires a city manager in the middle of a mental health crisis. The citizens of Sausalito should be recalling every city council member, anyone whoever recommended her should not do business with the city at all forever.
Was on her houseboat, but just didn't recognize it wasn't hers.
Forbes is the former director.
Oh, she made a mistake and wasn't her houseboat.
Of the Port of San Francisco. She resigned her post after 9 years last September, giving this reason.
I'm tired. I want a job with fewer than 280 employees. I don't want to run a port city anymore. But I sure did these last 9 years.
So you ran the port city into the ground. Oh, I can't handle running 280 employees of that mental crisis. I'm a drunk and I don't even know what boat I'm on and I'll make an excuse. Shut up. Elaine Forbes should be banned from getting any public money, employment, anything for the rest of her frickin' life. Then maybe people will start paying attention.
City of Sausalito says its thoughts are with Elaine Forbes. She remains...
Why? 4 bottles of wine, looking to attempt to steal another boat or on the wrong boat or in a mental crisis, can't handle her lover, wife, husband, who the hell knows? We're such a screwed up society, you can't even look up into the sky and say it's blue or the sun is orange.
In the Marin County Jail, she's scheduled to be arraigned Tuesday morning. We're live in Sausalito tonight. Cornell Bernard.
They should throw away the key in the Marin County Jail. I don't know how much more of this assault we can take. Again, people, get off your dead frickin' rear ends and start cleaning this stuff up. It's perforated from Sausalito to the District of Frickin' Criminals and all points in between. That'll do it for today. As we usually say at this time, mandatory you're back here. It's 23 hours wide. You're the best darn show in the whole wide world. Until then, see ya.
The proceeding was a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer.
All right, Roy. Take it easy.
You got it.
I get you said no meetings until August, right? So.
That's on the city, yeah. During the summertime, you had fit, and yeah, there weren't none locally today. There might be a couple, usually till about mid-August, and they'll start really cranking back up.
Oh well. Those idiots, man! I swear to God.
Can you believe the last story?
Yeah, well, actually, yes, I can.
Making $400,000 a year doing that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude! Fuck. That's just fucking ridiculous. Really.
Unreal, except we're living it.
All right. Well, I will talk to you the end of the week.
You got it. Bye.
Bye.